2017, a year clouded with the most competitive elections in Kenya's history. It was also a year that shot some politicians into the limelight, with their charm always charging the crowds every chance they could get.
Tunataka mlete mswada, muniletee mheshimiwa Uhuru, acha nimfanyie impeachment, nimuulize maswali.
At the time, Dr. Bonny Khalwale was the senator for Kakamega County, but his eyes were set on ousting Governor Wycliffe Oparanya. He, however, lost the race, and soon the once vibrant, vocal politician took a back seat into a world of silence and reflection. We speak to this seasoned politician on his newfound admiration and love for a man that had the very least irritated him to the brink a year ago. You've been silent for a long time. I want to know why. Let's start from there. What have you been doing? What have you been up to?
I've been cooling.
Cooling? From what?
You have to cool your heels. You know, after running a blistering gubernatorial campaign in a county which is bigger than the Republic of Burundi, Kakamega, it's not a joke.
So you're already in 2018 and many Kenyans are already talking about 2022. And politicians are positioning themselves ahead of the 2022 elections. And late last month, you were heard saying that you will support Deputy President William Ruto. I want you to confirm here, is it true that you're going to support William Ruto, and why?
I said it, yes. And I want to repeat that it would be strategically brilliant. I don't see any crime in working with Ruto. Why I want to swim with Ruto is that we have been on different ends of the earth, North Pole and South Pole. Let it not be forgotten that I am the only politician in this country who moved a motion of censure against William Ruto because of issue of propriety. Right. Now that he was on that pole and I was on this pole, if we come together, just like there were North Pole and South Pole, Kikuyu and Kalenjin, the two of us can actually do something about fighting corruption. Okay. I believe it.
Indeed, we were equally surprised by the sudden change of heart. The Deputy President and the bullfighter could hardly see eye to eye, and most oftenly engaged in a public spat about their differences.
Hapa Luyaland, tunajipanga sisi wenyewe. Ruto Deputy President na Uhuru President, mukifikiri mtapanga wa junior politicians waingie Jubilee, sisi Waluya hatuwezi kuingia Jubilee.
These same Kenyans, will they trust you? Will they believe you now when you say that you're going to support William Ruto? And yet, last year, you were not talking the same way that you are right now about Ruto and also President Uhuru Kenyatta. What's changed?
You know, nothing has changed. Let me tell you, unless you come from mass, you know that on a scale of 1 on 1, surely Raila said more unprintable things about Uhuru than I said about Ruto. And they swimming together?
They are?
Because in politics, there are no permanent friends or enemies.
Got that.
What is there is interest. And what is my interest as Bonny Mtetezi? My interest is first and foremost, we must drive the country into the direction President Uhuru has started driving, i.e., he wants to de-tribalize Kenya, and he wants us to fight corruption as much as possible.
I wanted to know how he also felt about his double loss as a senator and the position that he aspired to be, that of governor for Kakamega County.
How can you use the word lost? Who told you?
You didn't lose?
Who told you?
Okay, what happened?
Are you saying you are an agent or a supporter of cheating?
No. I'm talking about the reality, no? Is that not the reality?
The cheating?
No.
Yes.
The reality is, last year.
Yes.
What happened last year?
Right, last year was a very unfortunate year in the electoral history of this country when IEBC completely collapsed. It was unable to run an election. Yeah, it was very unfortunate. In the spirit of sportsmanship, politics is competition. Right. I have said let the man who was announced be given an opportunity to implement his agenda.
There have been changes since then. President Uhuru Kenyatta shook hands and made amends with ODM leader Raila Odinga. Then slowly, the biggest critics of Jubilee government now seem to embrace the handshake. Alliances have also been forged between Raila and Kenya National Congress leader Peter Kenneth. All this has left the country wondering whether the opposition's obituary is already been written.
Peter Kenneth, who I've worked very well with, him and Raila, they are like day and night. Not because Peter Kenneth is light-skinned. No, but because Peter Kenneth does not believe in the lies of Tialala, Tipim, Ria. Raila thrives on confusion. And this is why you can see, after going into the business of handshake, he has brought in confusion of non-existent stories of crocodiles in River Nile, building bridges and all manner of confusion. He wants this confusion to continue, add on it the confusion that we shall amend the constitution, so that by the time they approach the decision-making of who will be flag bearer, whoever will be in his camp, you will see Orengo stand and proclaim that on planet Earth, the only living human being who has what it takes to be president is Raila Odinga. Na hao wengine watazama bwana.
We oftenly say elusive Luhya unity. You'll answer that. But you had a meeting 2 months ago where there was Eugene Wamalwa, there was Musalia Mudavadi, then there was Moses Wetangula. How far have you reached after that meeting? What was discussed and what was agreed after that meeting? And why do we always say elusive Luhya unity?
That description that you hear about is just because somebody wants to give us a bad name so as to achieve desired results. The Luhya community has demonstrated over and over again that they normally vote as a bloc. So for God's sake, members of the public who don't come from our community, don't give us a bad name just simply because you want our votes. Just accept that we have the capacity to mobilize our community to vote in a particular direction. 2022 is not too far. Some of these little movements you see us making, we might be insignificant as far as some people are concerned. You'll be surprised.
The renewed push for a referendum thrust the Electoral Commission into focus, with calls for total overhaul of the agency. Already, political lines are being drawn, with those pro and against the constitutional change coalescing together.
No referendum. And if we must have a referendum, the referendum question must be clear, and to my heart, it would be foolhardy for us to start imagining changing the theory of governance. Okay. There are those who believe we should move from presidential to parliamentary system. It is not necessary. Let us test this parliamentary system that we have adopted in Kenya for a good number of years to see how we can make it better and not to throw it out.
Should the IBC be reformed? Should it be changed?
The problem is impunity. Fix impunity, put there men and women of integrity. They are there, and there are many Chris Mosandos in this country, there are many Akombes in this country, they can do a job. In fact, when I look in your eyes, if you become our chairman of IEBC, the way you shoot your questions, you are not going to announce that I have won the governor of Kakamega when I haven't.
I'll be straight.
Yeah, what is the big deal?
The bitter crisis facing the sugar sector in the country could not pass the zealous Khalwale. Critics in the field are not impressed at the government's handling of the situation either. So I sought to find out why the commodity is so dear to Western Kenya and what can be done to change the narrative.
I'm prepared to take a bullet for saying that President Kenyatta and Deputy President Ruto want to revive the sugar industry in our area. The only problem they have, they're not talking to stakeholders. We are the stakeholders. We have thought about it. Let them ask us. We are saying, allow only 2 people to import. 2. The first one to import should be a revived Kenya National Trading Corporation to allow millers to import sugar, and the amount of sugar that the Kenya National Trading Corporation and the millers should import should be determined by Kenya Sugar Board. Kenya Sugar Board, which has been dissolved, should again be revived so that they're able to say, if the deficit of sugar produced locally is 200,000 metric tons, then this deficit, factories will be allowed to import pro rata. That is, if you are the biggest producer of sugar, you should be given the highest quotient to import sugar so as to top up the deficit.
As we conclude, I just want to know, what's the future for Dr. Bonny Khalwale? Will we see the Bonny Khalwale we saw in 2017 in 2022? Will he be as vibrant as he was? Will he still be the bullfighter that we know? Or what will happen?
I can assure you in 2022, I'll be even more vibrant, more of a firebrand. Why? Because I have grown wiser, I'm older, I'm no longer a little boy, and therefore I have a greater reason to want to leave a legacy of who the kind of leader my county produced for this country called Kenya. Let me tell you, one of the reasons why I might not have been as visible in 2017 as I will be in 2022 is that I was playing it Mr. Nice, allowing us to make boardroom decisions and leaving it to our two leaders, Wetangula and Mudavadi, to go and sit with the NASA top summit to have the polished decision. But now, I'm not about to do that in 2022. If a decision will be made, I'll be part of that decision making at the summit because I've found that some people don't push hard enough. I don't see what stopped Mudavadi and Wetangula, because this is what we agreed, from telling Raila that thank you very much, we are supporting you for president, but the governor of Nairobi will be produced by ANC or for Kenya and will be deputized by Wiper. Why they did ask for that bare minimum, decided to play it Mr. Nice, that was not politics.
What have you discussed with your party leader, Moses Wetangula? What is his position really? Because he's been so silent with all these issues that are happening in the country. Maybe you, as his deputy, have you talked? What is his decision for 2022? I
am living in the hope and prayer that when my party leader finally breaks his silence, not that I'm not consoling him, that when he finally breaks his silence, he's going to find himself on the side of Mwananchi. Because in 2022, the way I see the elections starting to shape up, there will be a contest between the Zions of the dynasties of this country and the children of the hustlers of this country. I hope Wetangula will be on the right side of history.
I've been talking to Dr. Bonny Khalwale, the former senator of Kakamega County. Thank you very much for your time and for talking to us on K24 TV.